You are listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is Breaking the Ice. I got everybody ever in the studio with me right now. We got a ton of people, ton of stuff to talk about, and we were a little late because, we had radio production class going on, but we're here again. So first off, before I introduce everyone, I got some ADJs in here. I want to do some newscasts. So first off, I have Alyssa here on mic 1, and the floor is yours in 1 second. So go right ahead.
All right, thank you. I'm Alyssa Arroyo, and this is WMSC News. For some international news, on Sunday, October 1st, a church roof collapsed, which resulted in the death of 10 people in Madero, Mexico. With around 100 people in attendance for a baptism, 60 were injured and 23 hospitalized on Monday. The General Secretary of Government and Coordinator of Civil Protection of the state were sent from the governor, Mauricio Vero Anaya, to attend to the affected families. Switching gears to national news, record high temperatures can be set by Midwest and Northeastern states, such as Omaha, Nebraska, and Syracuse, New York. The Twin Cities face their hottest October date yet, with a high of 92 degrees on Sunday. A lot of the hotter temperatures are due to winds from the south pumping warm air into the northern regions. Now on to some New Jersey news. New Jersey's power plant, also known as a large landmark for the state, will finally be demolished as of late October, as the implosion of the smokestack will ensue. The 10 a.m. scheduled implosion will happen in the Upper Township along the Great Egg Harbor Bay on October 26th. The public will be able to view this demolition of the facility. However, those locations have not yet been stated. On to the weather. Today is a hot one with a high of 82 degrees and a low of 56. Wednesday continues on the trend of a hotter fall temperatures with a high of 83 and a low of 56. Thursday with a high of 77 and a low of 59. And Friday runs off the warm week with a high of 74 and a low of 63. For WMSC News, I'm Melissa. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Alyssa. Clap. And now we're going to have Mike Fumarola over here with his newscast on the host mic. So, Mike, whenever you feel like it, take it away.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Mike Fumarola, and this is 90.3 WMSC News. Starting off with top news, a North Dakota state senator and his wife and 2 young children died in a plane crash. They were traveling through Utah, officials announced Monday. State Senator Doug Larson was piloting the plane and had traveled with his wife, Amy, and 2 of their sons Sunday evening in Grand County, Utah, when their aircraft crashed, and the Grand County Sheriff said in a news release. The Sheriff's News Office release said around 8:30 p.m. a single plane taking off from the Canyons Region Airport crashed into the ground. Now for national news, U.S. Congress debates the Ukraine aid and the Pentagon warns money is running low. Washington, D.C. has sent the Kriv government $113 billion in security and economic bills. Late Saturday night, McCarthy backed down to demand that the party's headliners steep cuts in domestic aid programs, but he and some other Republicans in both the House and Senate refused to include more aid for the Ukraine in their measure. For local news, crews respond to a 20-foot water main break in Jersey City on Monday. Water customers in Jersey City and Hoboken could experience low pressure with repairs being made. And for some international news, Burger King remains open as usual in Russia despite the brand owners pledging to leave more than a year ago. Restaurant Brands International, which owns 15% of the Last Foods franchise business in Russia, told BBC no new updates to share this time on the exit. The firm said in March of 2022 that it had started the process to leave Russia. Since the outbreak of the war in Ukraine, Western companies have been under pressure to leave Russia. And for the weather today is sunny and bright, reaching a high of 82 degrees.
Appreciate it, Mike. You did a great job. So now, as everybody claps, I'm going to introduce everyone else into the studio right now. So on mic 1 was Alyssa. So on mic 2, we're going to have the Devils mic over here. We got Devils Report and Devils Fanatics, Justin Brady and Daniel Lamoya back. How's it going?
It's going great. Hockey season finally getting underway. Teams are starting to make their final cuts, it seems like, or if they haven't, very soon, probably by the end of today or tomorrow. So it's getting real, and we actually had the chance, me, Justin, and Connor, to attend a hockey game last night, Devils Islanders, at the Prudential Center. It was a very entertaining one. I'm sure we'll get into it, but yeah, just glad to have hockey back.
Yeah, it's great to have hockey back. Great to have Devils hockey back in particular. Devils have looked really good in the preseason so far. They're undefeated, so I like what I see so far, especially from a guy named Jesper Barat, who is the best player in the NHL.
Oh, okay. And on mic 3, we got the man with the blue shirt on. It's Tanner Price.
The shirt blues.
Yo, this dude changing it up. So
Also, Jesper Bratt saying the best player in hockey. Yeah, guess what fantasy team he's on?
oh, he's on Tanner's, and dude, that draft pick had the whole room buzzing right there. when
I
he
was
picked-
told it was a personal attack
by who?
by Nem.
Oh,
It was a
okay.
personal attack. And also, speaking of fantasy hockey, I'm sure we'll get to it later. The Trevor Zegras pick in the 11th round is doing wonders for me.
Hey, anyways, we got more ADJs on top of the 2 that already joined us. We have Enrique in the corner, and in that corner, I forget your name. Sonia. We have Sonia, Enrique, Mike, and Alyssa all in here, aspiring DJs. And we also have just 2. So we have 4 ADJs, 2 DJs, and then these 2.
2 Devils Instagram.
And then 2 Devils Instagram fan pages. So right now, we're actually watching the Rays Rangers wild card games. Even though this is a hockey show, I don't care. There's no walk off anymore on WMSC,
Yeah.
so we will definitely be updating you as this game goes on. So I want to go around the room. Picks for this game. I don't even care. This is how we're starting the hockey show off with baseball.
Picks for this game. I have Tampa Bay as my dark horse World Series team, so I'm going with the Tampa Bay Rays. I don't think the Rangers have the pitching. If they had DeGrom, if they had Scherzer, maybe they'll win. I mean, it didn't work last year. I know, but I think Tampa is going to surprise a lot of people in these
Well,
playoffs.
there's a Randy Arozarena base hit. So, Justin. Oh, Daniel had something to say. Say it, bro. Say it, bro.
No, I'm gonna take Tampa as well. I feel like they were very under the radar, like Tanner
Is this
said.
are you all doing this for the series or this game?
I'm saying the series.
Okay,
I'm
gotcha.
saying
Um,
this year, yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't know, like Tampa, like beginning of the year, they were the best team by far, and I feel like they could take that to a new level. Meanwhile, looking at their crowd right now, they have maybe like half their stadium filled up because they're such a poverty franchise. But anyway,
I have to say though, because I think what kind of proved that this could be a team that could go far is that they faced probably the biggest adversity in having their best player, get suspended and do.
Yo,
a
what's
lot
going
of-
on, bro? What's
a lot
going on,
of-
bro? What's
a lot-
going on?
a lot- A lot of things.
What's going on,
A lot
bro?
of things, but I think that happened. He's not on the team anymore. And they're still playing the same level of baseball that they were all season. And I think a lot of the postseason is getting past adversity. And, if you're losing, coming back, and they've got probably past some of the most adversity you can as a team.
I have 2 parallels to make. The current Texas Rangers are like the 2019 San Francisco Giants and like the 2022 New York Mets. Both teams that way overachieved with veteran guys who all had career years and couldn't sustain it during playoff time. I don't see this being any different. So I don't see the Rangers winning this game, but even if they do, I think Tampa Bay's winning 2 and 3 anyways. So
See,
I don't see Texas
I actually
lasting.
have the Rangers winning this series
Wow.
due to the fact of Tampa Bay getting injured like crazy right now.
That's true.
People getting hurt, and Jordan Montgomery is cooking right now. Well, not that Glasnow's bad. Don't get me wrong, but Montgomery's been on a heater streak, and I think it's going to carry into these playoffs. So even though Arozarena's on first base
I would
with 2
say-
outs.
But I would say we saw Rosarena in the World Baseball Classic. He was probably one of the best players for Team Mexico. Yeah, it is a
What a hockey show, man.
What a hockey show.
Yo, Mike, your thoughts on this series?
So now to football. No.
I just think the Yankees are such a poverty franchise right now because you see Jordan Montgomery starting for Texas, and I would like to point out that he once was a New York Yankee. But I will say, Max Scherzer, I don't know if he's ever is he gonna return? I think he was scheduled to return around October 15th, and that's a long shot. But I still have Tampa Bay. I think it would be an automatic sweep if they had Wander 14, but they don't. But I got Tampa Bay in the series.
no, I'm not gonna let this slide. We're their fans. It's a playoff game. I don't even care if it's a 3:00 game on a Tuesday. That does not matter. Any other fan base, their fans are there. Where are their fans? And their stadium only holds 26,000 people, and maybe half of it is full. Pathetic. Tampa Bay, you're pathetic.
If we're going by half their stadium is full, that would mean there were more people at the Garden for the Devils Rangers preseason matchup than at a Tampa Bay Rays not elimination but playoff game in a best of 3 series.
So, yeah, you see what you can say.
Montreal. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So last night, you guys did speak on it. We went to the Devils Islanders preseason game. Put down an Islanders hater bet. Did not cash at all, but it's fine. Used a free bet on that one. So tell the story. You know what I'm saying? It's $6 tickets. You know, use that Amtrak parking perks.
Yeah.
It's
so,
a great alleyway. We get to park down.
Definitely safe.
And then at the game, shout out Rico.
Rico. Shout out Rico.
Yeah, major shout out Rico.
We got to go in a suite for $6, and you know, first goal we were in the bathroom, right?
Yeah, because we got there late, so we heard the traditional organ music that the Devils always play after they give up a goal, and Justin and I simultaneously were like, uh-oh. And we check our phones, Matt Barzal on a breakaway. It's like, oh, great.
Nah, it wasn't even that. Yeah, y'all heard you knew they knew the music, so they know it. They know the goal against music, like the back of their brain. And sure enough, Barzal breakaway goal. Then it was 2-0, and then after nowhere, it was just offense like crazy the whole game.
There was 0 defense played in that game by either side. It was bad.
Yeah, I mean, Jesper Bratt, 3 goals, 4.9. I think he's honestly been the best player in this preseason so far. I've seen out of every player. He's just on a whole new level right now. And I feel like that contract extension really is like motivating him to play at his highest level.
It's not only that, the numbers back it up. He is currently leading the NHL in points for the preseason with 8. 8 points in 3 games he has. Matt Coronado is 7, then Drake Batherson, Jack Hughes, and Connor Timmins with 6. So the numbers back that up.
I mean, it is preseason, but still, it's great to see your top guys look good. I mean, so yesterday, the Jack Hughes, Tyler Toffoli, Jesper Bratt line. Jesper Bratt. We were talking about that yesterday.
So we were talking about this yesterday. Jesper Bratt, but Jesper Bogfist, right?
Yeah, it's weird how that works.
And they're both Swedish, with the same first name. But who got the confirmation on this again? Who?
You said something, Daniel.
Yeah. I've found out that it was the players themselves have confirmed at events that it's Jesper Boquist and Jesper Bratt, which, like you said, the fact that they're Swedish is maybe it's because they're from different parts. I'm not sure, but regardless, Boquist isn't even a Devil anymore, so it will be easier to not confuse. But
there's your Nate Lau base hit, by the way.
Doesn't matter what his name is. The way he's playing is incredible. He's been on a different level. But we saw at the beginning of last regular season where Jesper Bratt gets off to a really hot start and then cools down a little. So hopefully he's able to maintain that throughout the season. But we'll see. That'll be to the benefit of Tanner's fantasy team.
Woo! To the benefit of Tanner's fantasy.
Listen. Any Jesper Bratt. Jesper Bratt. I want a Jesper Bratt hat trick every night, and the other team wins 4-3. That's all I need.
So Tanner has a New York Rangers hat on. So
yes, I
it's
do.
Still a Rangers hat regardless. So he's rooting for the Rangers in this game against the Rays.
No, I'm not. Go Tampa.
All right. Well, so thoughts on the Devils' overall preseason so far?
It's been great. You're 5-0. The offense is producing. Defense a little shaky over the last couple games, but something that could easily be fixed. I like the goaltending overall, except for this game. But I mean, your top guys really stepping up. That Tyler Toffoli, Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt line is looking like it could be one of the best lines in the league. This upcoming season, and then you have a line of it's Nico Hischier, Timo Meier, and Alexander Holtz, or maybe Dawson Mercer. We'll see how that goes, but I mean, this top 6, even top 9, is just looking like it's going to be one of the best in the league. I just want to point out, in practice today, the Devils, so they're fully healthy right now, and this is their Power Play 1 and Power Play 2. Power Play 1, Alexander Holtz, Nico Hischier, Dawson Mercer, Timo Meier, Dougie Hamilton. Power Play 2, Tyler Toffoli, Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt, Andre Palat, and Luke Hughes. When Jack Hughes is on your Power Play 2, like that's just amazing to think about. This team is so stacked offensively, And really, the only question is goaltending, and we talked about it a lot on this show, so I'm not going to sound like a broken record, but it is a big question mark going into the season. But overall, offensively, looking amazing.
So now, I want you guys to talk about, Tanner, give me a little Rangers preview rundown real quick.
So Rangers, I have not even really watched much of this preseason so far. I don't really pay mind to preseason, because I just think it's, I mean, the Rangers, they're 1-3 in the preseason, but I don't think that is what their team is going to be. But it's good in their, we've seen them in their last game at least. You had Brennan Othmann and Will Cooley, two guys that I think that could be key players for this team, that could make the opening night roster. Both of them with goals in this game against the Islanders. So I really think getting those guys, getting the young players playing time and getting them goals, getting them more experience is going to help the Rangers in the long run, because these might have to be the guys that you start to rely on over some veteran players, or even if, I think I say it every week, if Alexi Lafreniere or Capo Caco, if they do not play well, you might have to start relying on these new guys and get new talent in there. And I think these guys are also, especially Othmann, he's a player that I have wanted the Rangers to get for a long time, and they haven't really. They just don't have it, because usually you're either one thing with this team or you're another, and he's both. He could score goals, and he could also lay the body. He can make big hits. He's a physical player, but he could also score goals, which the Rangers just have. And I think a player like that is going to be huge for this team, because they tend to back down a lot. I mean, they kind of overhauled their entire roster 2 years ago so they could get more physical players on here, and now all those guys are kind of just gone. I mean, they traded Ryan Reeves. The only guys I think of are, Trocheck, Goodrow, and Trouba. Ryan Lindgren plays like that, but they're not. It's either Trouba and Lindgren. They're not putting up the point totals that you want from. But that's not what they're expected to. They're expected to be physical defensemen. But with Brennan Othmann, you have a guy who is going to do both, which I think will work wonders. And I've been excited to see him play a full season with this team for a long time, and I think he'll be a really good player in the league.
Speaking of the Rangers, Josh Jung sack fly, scores a run, and then Leody Taveras just stole second, and the ball goes into the center field, so now he stole third base as well. Potential to make it a 2-0 ball game really fast here. I gotta
say, big respect to the Rays for wearing the Devil Rays jerseys in this
game. Oh
game.
yeah, that's great. That's actually great.
Electric.
I'm
so disappointed how 90s uniforms and 2000s uniforms they were so much better.
Yeah,
they were just fully so much better.
I mean, we've seen these jerseys, the Mets black jerseys, some of the best in baseball.
The Florida dude, I see people wearing the Florida Marlins hat and jerseys just for for style purposes.
We should bring those were awesome. We need the Diamondbacks, the teal and purple ones.
Teal and purple ones.
I've seen that. A lot of teams around all sports are bringing older designs back.
They're so much better, bro. The 90s
because,
style of jerseys was great.
Because I've seen some of the worst jerseys.
No, it's so bad. Yeah, the modern logos and jerseys are nothing compared to what they used to be in sports.
The Avalanche should bring that scrapped Nordiques look with the wolf on it. Has anyone ever seen that?
No.
That they wanted to switch to. So they wanted to switch to a wolf logo. I think the Avalanche should bring that back. Get some real jerseys in here.
So do you remember the old Florida Panthers logo? The older one?
Yeah.
Yes,
that one's better than the current one, right?
Yes.
It is.
I think the best jersey that they have, and I actually own one, was the reverse retro.
Which one?
The one of the one with the Panther on it.
The blue and red one.
It's the new design, but it's that type of logo. It's the Panther jumping or whatever.
It's the old logo.
It's the old logo, yeah.
With the blue and then red on top.
But they do have a alternate logo of it's the older Panther logo, which is one of my favorites of all time. I've always wanted to get the jersey, and I hope they just do it for just make it the actual logo is where the Panthers breaking the stick. That is
Ooh.
that is the best Panthers jersey, and none come close to that.
True. Now, speaking of the Panthers preseason, they're 3-2 in the preseason thus far. They had 2 good games against the Predators, which that's a team supposed to take down. They lost to Carolina, then they beat Carolina, but then they just lost to the Senators the other night. Now, with your teams, have you seen any of the lines surprising to you?
I mean, the Rangers, they're already doing what they do in the season, which is just, here's a couple guys. We're just gonna put them on random lines. That's what they always do. That's what
Florida is put in so Verhaeghe and Barkov are line 1 like past 3 years, right? And then Evan Rodriguez is now joining them on line 1, the new guy. Then line 2, they split up Kachuk and Barkov. They never have them on the same line. So line 2 is Sam Bennett, Matthew Kachuk, and then Nick Cousins has made it up to line 2 now. Line 3 is like the same as last year. Lois Dorinen, Lundell, and Reinhart. And then line 4 is like where they do the fill-in guys. Ryan Lomberg's been on that line for 3 years. They got, not sure who Steven Lorentz is. I don't know much about that dude. But he had 19 points last year, so who knows? And,
what a play.
well, what'd I miss?
Saved a run. I mean, it was a play deep in it was a play deep in like the shortstop, deep in the hole shortstop, and he made a nice throw to get him.
Anyways, it's Rangers season, but with Florida, I feel like what had happened? Let me look.
Can I read off the Rangers lines in practice today? Because they can't get.
Yeah, go right ahead.
We had first line, and this is just practice. This could just be trying things out, but Panarin, Zibanejad, Kakko. Panarin, Zibanejad never worked together on the same line. I don't know why they always do that. Kreider, Trocheck, and Wheeler. Okay. We have Cooley, Goodrow, and Tyler Pitlick. Big time, big scoring right there. And Jimmy Vesey, Nick Bonino, and Brennan Othman. So it's good to see that we're putting our young players. We're doing what they've done to all the young players, which is put them on a line with guys that I don't even think can score 5 goals in a season. I don't know if it's some sort of punishment or something, but they always do it, and it never works. And the lines are different. I just want consistent lines for the Rangers this year. That's all I want. I mean, a Stanley Cup would be nice, but I just want consistency. And that's just they don't do that. I just want Kreider cuz they can't find a player to round up these lines. You got Kreider and Zibanejad, and then they've never been able to find a third guy for that. They found it in Frank Vatrano, but they were just like, we want Vincent Trocheck instead. But Vatrano worked so much better with that line, and they could have probably kept the 2 players in the playoffs in 2021, where they had Frank Vatrano and Andrew Kopp. I would have rather them over Vincent Trocheck. Trocheck's a great player, but those 2 lines, they had finally found the guys to fill in the gaps, and we saw what it did. And now they just were just like, it's okay. But I know one thing is that Tyler Mott will be part of this lineup by like December, so because he always is.
AJ says death, taxes, and Tanner complaining about Rangers lines.
Yes. 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 It's going to happen. I just want. It's so difficult because every game is just, what's it today? And then it's going to be switched halfway through the game when it doesn't work.
Tanner, I have a question. Are you a closeted Islanders fan?
No.
Because you just kept going, yes, yes, yes.
No. The Islanders have a consistent line.
Of?
I'm joking. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
let's hear it.
I know you were talking about the Devils. They had 6 goals, but the Islanders had 5. Only lost by 1. If we score 2 more, we win the game.
If they score 3 more, my bet hits.
If we won double the games, we might be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh my
Speaking
God.
of the Islanders, we were sitting in the
right.
suite,
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah,
literal
you're right.
feet
You're right.
away from the New York Islanders' entire ownership. All their owners, executives, whatever, and Lou Lamoriello right there
Yeah, like he didn't look like he was having a good time, and reasonably so, because when your best player gives up 5 goals, not much to be happy
in a
about.
preseason game too.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I'm not
And
gonna lie.
the Devils really didn't play any of their starters besides the Toffoli,
Prob-
Hughes, Bratt line.
Probably like probably like 50% starters, and
Yeah.
I feel like the Islanders had like 75% of their
Yeah.
starters in.
Yeah.
The Islanders are not going to be a good team this year.
Nope, bottom 5
I-
team.
I just don't see I just don't see them being a competitive team this year. I think last year was that last gasp, but now they're going to be in the cellar of the league for 5 years.
I know he scored twice last night, and we've talked about this before. Matt Barzal is so incredibly overrated. All he does is spin in circles and
Yeah.
throw pucks towards the net. Matt Barzal reminds me of if Artemi Panarin had significantly less skill. Like, his skating style is the same, but he doesn't have as good of a shot.
Yeah.
He's not as good of a passer. So, but like, it just blows my mind that he has. I think we talked about this, the fact that he hasn't ever had a point per game season.
Yeah, he's always been. I mean,
He's been good. I'm not saying
Yeah,
he's bad,
yeah.
but he's insanely overrated.
He's a good.
He's not
player,
someone you
but-
build your team around like the Islanders have viewed him as.
Yeah, he's not that type of. He's not that type of player. I just don't. He's not like the. There hasn't really been a moment in how long he's been in the league for how many years.
Like 6 or 7.
Yeah, and
This is going to be his 8th season.
yeah, and he's
Wow.
always kind of just been. His big thing is that he's fast, but if he's not putting up a point per game, what is speed is going to get you nowhere.
Somewhat of a one-year wonder too. He actually did have a point per game season. He was just over 85 and 82 games. His rookie season when he won the Calder Trophy
Yeah,
and the Art Ross. The All Rookie team. But since then, he's never scored more than 19 goals in a season. 18, 19, 17, 15, 14. Never been more than a point per game player. The closest he came is 60 and 68 games in the shortened
He's-
2019-20 season.
I need to check the stats on this.
But
I need to check the stats on this.
He's
had-
going to the stats. Let's hit
he
them,
had-
let's hit the.
So, in his, you know how he's viewed as this great player.
Wow.
In his,
Wow.
he has around the same goal total as Alexis Lafreniere does.
wow.
He is around the same like yearly goal total. In Lafreniere's second year, he put up 19 goals. In Barza, I believe, in 79 games, Lafreniere put up 19 goals. In Barzal's second year, he put up 18 goals. So therefore, the better player here is Alexis Lafreniere.
yeah,
But-
Definitely.
Matthew Barzal's all-time most goals in a season, 22. Pavel Zacha's
Hey, dude,
21.
Carter Verhaeghe dropped 42 last year. Let's just put it in perspective.
Yeah.
Perspective.
I
man.
didn't even really know Matt Barzal's stats like the last couple of years until we're saying it now, and now I agree with you. These are
well
not
under
good
a point
stats.
per game. I
These
would
are not
argue
good
that Jesper
stats.
Bratt is better.
Yeah, it's arguable.
Yeah, for
there.
sure.
He won the Calder, and he really
He's like he's not bad, but
he's not bad, but
I
he's
wouldn't
not.
call him elite. He's an above average
He had
NHL
let's
player,
say I'm
not someone you build an entire franchise around.
he had
AJ now says death, taxes, and breaking the ice, dumping on the Islanders.
he had like this is 2 years ago 21-22 73 games. I'm going to give I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question, and you say player A or player B.
Oh, I like this.
I like.
Oh,
I like this.
yeah,
I
let's do
like
this. Player A, player B.
So we have
We'll all take a guess.
in okay.
Let's got this. You
15
got this. You got this.
15 goals. 15 goals, 44 assists, and 59 points versus 16 goals, 39 assists, and 55 points in one less game.
Player A then.
Player A?
Yeah, I'll take player
Okay, but the stats are not that far off, right?
A. No.
Nah,
no, I'd say
the
they're
assist numbers are the only thing that's really
I-
far.
I-
Nah.
I'd say they're basically equal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Player A is 21-22 Matt Barzal, which is his best point total. Well, he was
So Matt Barzal
he was-
2 years
he's-
ago. 2 years
2
ago,
years
Barzal.
ago, Matt Barzal. He was out, last year at 51 points last year. So that was that. The second player was 22-23 Blake Wheeler,
Last year,
who is
Blake
on
Wheeler-
an $800,000 contract right now. And Matt
Last year,
Barzal is
Blake-
making how much money?
How much?
He's making a lot of money
Yeah.
to in his last full, I guess you could call season, he missed 9 games. To only get 59 points, and I know that Islanders team was just bad, but your best player has to play better than that.
9.15 average annual value.
Yes.
Jack Hughes gets paid 8.
Yes.
For perspective.
This is
And they gave him an 8-year deal. So
Gave him an 8-year deal.
This is year number 2 of that deal. So he will be an Islander until 2030.
he's not put up
That's wild.
He's put up
baby.
more than 62 points once. And that was the start of his career, and his numbers have just drastically dropped year in and year out. And yes, he's been hurt.
Y'all see this
Last
Jordan
couple of years?
Montgomery diving play to get the ball? Anyway, this man got out of a jam there, but yeah.
Timo Meyer just signed his extension, so a year later, and still got paid less than Matt Barzal did.
Yeah, I still think one of the funniest things that never happened, and it's one of the greatest things that never happened, was when Islander fans, every single one of them thought they were signing Artemi Panarin, and he took less money to go play for the Rangers, and that has screwed over that team for the last couple of years because
They cannot get those big guys.
they can't. If you're
can't.
competing.
Yeah.
If you're competing against, in a market that has the Rangers and the Devils, and there's a lot of people around this area are Devils fans, and a lot of people it's a lot of Devils and Rangers fans, and it's kind of just people that live on Long Island that are Islanders fans, and that's it.
That's it.
So you're going to want to go to a place where, maybe jersey sales. That's something that I'm sure a lot of players think about is, how popular am I going to be? And the Islanders just are not. They're the third most popular team in this area.
And also, Long Island's a horrible place to live, and it's so expensive.
Yeah, and why you could either be on the Islanders, which I think if you asked 90% of people, they could not tell you what the New York Islanders are. When you can play, you could be in Madison Square Garden. You could play at Madison Square, the biggest, probably the biggest venue in the world. That is the dream of so many music artists and also hockey players. Just to even play there. So the Islanders just can't compete. No free agent is willingly going to choose the Islanders if the Devils and Rangers are in play.
And also, it doesn't help that they have the worst farm system in the league.
Yeah, they have a terrible farm system.
I'm not even joking. There's not one player that I could name that's going to be like, oh, this player's going to come in and make an impact real soon. I cannot think of one name. And if you're an Islanders fan listening, and
if you're an Isles
then
fan
correct
listening,
me.
which they definitely aren't listening after the
Because they
last
don't,
3 weeks.
because they don't exist. But I don't know. There's nothing to look forward. This team's boring. They play the most boring style hockey in the league.
Yeah.
By far. So first off, I don't want to watch them. They are on the island. Their fans are arrogant. I don't like the Islanders. They're so annoying.
They remind
They stink.
They remind me so much of, this might make no sense to anybody, of a Central Division baseball team, like the Twins.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Where they're
That's
just
a great analogy.
They're good, but they're not gonna do anything. I'm saying this as the Twins are gonna win 10-0 today, but they just remind me of one of those teams. They're just nothing about them is ooh, I want to, there are certain teams where I'm like, oh yeah, I'll turn on a game.
I want to watch them.
I'll turn on a random game because let's say Vegas is playing. I want to watch Vegas. The Oilers. People are turning on the Oilers so they can watch Connor McDavid. If I'm watching the Islanders, it's because they're playing the Rangers and that's it.
That's it.
It's because they're playing the Rangers and that's it. I'm not going to be like, oh boy, Islanders hockey.
Oh, goody!
I can't wait to watch. I can't wait to watch. I can't wait to watch I'll only watch it if I'm like scrolling through. If I'm scrolling through scores and I see it's like 5-0 other team, then I'm like, all right, I want to watch the Islanders.
I'll take a gander real quick.
The only prospect the Islanders even somewhat had going for them was Atu Ratu, who they ended up trading anyway.
He's gone.
And then he had 12 points
Well,
in 25 games for the Abbotsford Canucks. And that
There's-
was like their greatest prospect.
There's developing players. There's being bad at developing players. There's the New York Rangers, and then there's the Islanders.
Who just don't have players to develop.
Yeah, remember Josh Hosang?
Oh,
Remember that guy?
Josh
Dude,
Hosang was
he was-
supposed to be
he was supposed
like,
to be like
he had
the-
so
the
many,
next grade.
so many
He
problems.
took number 66, and he was like, because I'm gonna be the next Mario Lemieux, and he's like playing in like, I don't even know what league. I just
he
see
is
on-
playing for Salavat Ulev
Yeah.
Ufa
He was actually
in the KHL, the
Yep.
same team that Shakir Mukhamadullin was drafted out of. For a little fun fact.
But like I remember, there's him. There's Kiefer Bellows. It's just all these guys that were like, oh, they're gonna be the next biggest thing.
Hosang was actually like a solid player as well, but he had so many problems off the ice.
Yeah.
But he never, regardless of his off-ice problems, I
If-
mean, he never really lived up to expectations,
Islanders-
especially goal-wise.
If the Islanders did not have Ilya Sorokin, they would be the worst team in hockey.
Dude, I feel
They
like
will. I'm not.
Not
And
if
I'm not even
Sorokin
saying.
plays like he did last night.
I'm not even saying talent-wise. I'm just saying they're not. I would just put them as the worst team because there's nothing for that team that excites me. That is like, oh boy, I really want to watch this team. I think they could
Oh,
go for it, and
yeah.
they surprise people because they just don't have that. They don't. Oh boy, Bo Horvat. I'm so excited to watch Bo Horvat
yeah, he didn't
play
do nothing
hockey.
last night. He didn't do nothing last night.
Brock Nelson.
Ooh, Brock
Did
Nelson.
Bo Horvat even play last
Yeah,
night?
he was there. He was
did,
there. He was
did.
there.
He was invisible.
He was just there.
Wow, that's bad.
Exactly.
I genuinely
Oh
forgot.
no, he had a wide open net at one point in the third
Actually,
period.
I remember
and
that.
He missed.
I remember that.
Loser.
Oh boy. Oh wait. Sorry. They have the talent. They have the most talented forward in hockey. The man who drives hard to the net in Julian Gauthier. Oh,
Well,
Daniel.
that's what I showed him.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll let Daniel take the
I-
floor here.
I
no.
showed Justin the graphic last night of the Islanders' off-season acquisitions. I could pull it up, but it was hilarious. While I'm finding it, has anyone seen the picture of the fan who found an Artemi Panarin Islanders shirt in a Walmart? And not only that, it didn't say Panarin on, like it said his full name, Artemi Panarin.
Yeah. Oh, I saw
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
I saw that. Yeah.
The strangest memorabilia ever to exist.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
I want to know who made that, why, and how it ended up.
No,
in
I saw some
Walmart.
Islanders fan. So the Islanders posted like our big like, you know, welcome to the team, Julian Gauthier, or just like something to hype him up. And some Islanders fan was like, 20 goal player right there. He has one thing, and he's successfully done it twice, which is just drive to the net like as hard as you possibly can and score. And he's only done it twice. I'm pretty sure there's like a stat where he has done it like 50 times. He scored twice on it. It's the only. He has one move. He's
That one
move.
move, Shaq into the rim.
He's one move, and that is
Shaq to the rim.
and that is the Islanders' big off-season acquisition.
I found the graphic. This is the entirety, like even including like AHL, like minor
Mhm.
deals for the New York Islanders organization. In Julian Gauthier, the list ends there. Out, Josh Bailey and Zach Parise. That's it. Three
Devils-
names total moved around.
Devils legend.
Wait,
Zach
Josh
Parise.
Bailey got traded?
No, he got.
Yeah, a
Didn't he get like
PTO, I think.
PTO and then with the
Ottawa?
Blackhawks?
I thought it was
I didn't even
Ottawa.
saw that. I
Let's
didn't
see.
see.
No, it was Ottawa and then Chicago with something.
I thought he was
yeah,
still on the
it was
Islanders.
Ottawa.
That's how irrelevant they are to me.
He
I
did
just thought- I
something
thought
with
he was still on the
Chicago, I
Islanders.
feel like. I don't know.
We got to find an Islanders fan and get them.
We got
on
like
the
a
show.
real. I haven't found a real. I know one.
Yeah.
And he might be an Islanders fan.
Yeah.
I don't know a real one off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But we got the bottom of the third here. Rangers up 1-0. Jordan Montgomery out here doing his thing.
You know, I really think this is a breaking the ice bonding exercise, which is every week a half hour of just talking about how bad the Islanders
Breaking the Islanders.
are. Breaking the Islanders.
Welcome to Breaking the Isles.
You know what I can't wait for? When the Penguins start doing anything bad and AJ starts spamming us with like 8 million essays.
Oh yeah, I get
about
it.
why they're a dysfunctional organization. He can never have anything nice, and then they'll win their next 2 games, and AJ will be like, "Oh,
We're
we're
back!
fine, we're
dude,
back."
dude. And then I get like a FaceTime call from him, and he just rants about the Penguins for 30 minutes. I'm like, all right, I want to go, AJ. I like talking about hockey with you, but I do not care that much about what Evgeny Malkin's doing right now. Like, I don't care.
AJ says, "Is Cats Devs outing actually happening?" And
Yes.
he says, "Let's go Panthers."
It's
Yeah,
gotta
that-
happen.
that's gotta
Monday,
happen.
2 weeks
We gotta go
from
Cats Devs.
2 weeks from yesterday.
13 days away.
13 days away. Devils Cats at the Prudential Center, and we will most likely
We are
be there.
9 days away from puck drop.
Yeah, if we're getting that big of a group, I think tickets should be acquired ASAP.
With
Maybe we'll
9
see.
days away from puck drop,
Because you can't do that many on
boys,
Student
who's the
Rush.
greatest number 9 in Devils history?
Yuri Tolutsi. It's actually
Taylor
Zach.
Hall.
It's actually Zach Parise.
No, I see.
No. Just because he won MVP, he had
Yeah.
one. Zach Parise over.
I see your logic.
Zach Parise over a span of 6 years. He was
yeah.
a captain at one point. He was the best player for those 6 years. It's Parise.
I understand.
Taylor Hall in that 1 year was better than
Yeah.
Zach Parise would ever be, but like Parise just overall.
Yeah.
I he was the fan favorite for that team.
Tanner, the best number 9 in Rangers history.
Adam Graves.
Hey.
Yeah,
Adam
that,
Graves.
no, that's
It's
easy.
retired.
Yeah,
So-
fair. That's the easy one there.
Yeah.
Give him a layup.
The Cats, we got Sam Bennett, bro. We got
Bennet's
Sam
nice.
Bennett.
Sam Bennett's nice.
Our second, the 2C of Florida for the past 3 years. Well, let's actually get into some news about the NHL recently. So, we know everyone's favorite Duck, Trevor Zegras, got an extension. It's
Also,
a-
Andy Bathgate. Sorry, I should put that in. I remember that there was another Rangers number 9 retired number. I was completely blanking, but let's go. Okay, sorry.
So, Trevor Zegras signed a 3-year. Let's see if we can do math on this. It's a $17 million deal, like 17.25, something like that.
It's not a
5
high
point-
number.
5 3/4 per season for Trevor Zegras.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know why he signed that.
I feel like at that point he just wants to play hockey, and I feel like
Yeah.
the Ducks are not going to give him anything more. He deserves at least $7 million because, yeah, he has not been an elite player. I would say he does some elite things on the ice, but like the upside and the potential
There's a Randy Arozarena double in the gap, by the way.
of the player he could be a 90-point player in a couple years down the line. So, I mean, good for the Ducks because that's a steal.
Good
but
for
the
the
thing
Ducks.
is,
It's a steal.
it's only a 3-year contract, right? So
Yeah, it's a 3-year
And then that means by the end of that 3-year contract, he's an unrestricted free agent. And I feel like the Ducks are kind of building something special right now. They got Mason McTavish, Jamie Drysdale. They have some really good guys coming in here. So if you lose Zegras, you kind of ruin that all in 3 years. So I don't know. If I were the Ducks, I would want to lock him up for the next 8 years, but they did not do that.
So now on to let's get to a couple
In what-
retirements here.
No,
Unless you
sorry.
got some. You got some. Hey, what's up?
In what world
In what world?
does Damon Severson make $1 million more than Trevor Zegras?
Tell us, Daniel. In what world?
That's the world where defensemen with term are hard to get, who are just solid, and teams overpay for them, especially teams that don't have that high of a payroll like the Columbus Blue Jackets. So that's just the way the market is right now. But
Well,
when you think about it, when you take a step back and look at it, it's kind of funny.
I think Zegras. I think he wants to. He does not want to play there. I don't think he wants to play for the Anaheim Ducks, and he's like, I'll take 3 more years here, and then I'm done.
Yeah.
Because, listen, I don't want to speculate things early, but you know what team he was a fan of as a child?
It
What
was
team? Tell us.
he's
The
from-
Blue
The Blue Shirts.
The Blue.
Oh, he's from Is he from Cali or from Massachusetts?
All right, time
I don't
to
know,
go
but
to the
he was-
internet.
I don't know, but he was a Rangers fan.
Whoever
so.
races to this one first.
All right, he
wins.
was born in Bedford, New York.
Dude.
Okay, that'll
yeah.
do it. Why'd I think Oh, Matty Beniers, I think, is from Massachusetts.
So I think.
Born in New York, but did he actually? Well, Zegers went to Boston University, so
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was.
That's what you're
definitely
thinking
too. Okay.
did he actually live in New York though? So
I'm
he was
not
born
sure.
in New York.
I mean, if he's a Blue Shirts fan, there's a
Growing
good
up, he
chance.
was a fan of the Rangers, but emulated Patrick Kane.
Well,
Well,
he's not going to be.
growing up in New York,
Yeah.
yes, he played.
He was.
Yes, he played in New York.
He was at Rangers Caps Game 7 and saw Derek Stepan get the overtime winner.
And speaking of Derek Stepan, dude retired today. What are your thoughts on like we have a couple retirements to go through, but that's a Rangers legend right there.
So, Derek Stepan is in my top 3 of favorite Rangers of all time.
Oh,
He was the first Rangers player.
first off, shout out Jordan Montgomery and
Shout out
the
Jordan
Rangers
Montgomery.
defense for getting out of that jam right there. But yeah,
Derek Stepan was the first player around the 2012,
as you're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair.
around that 2011, 2012 era is when I started getting really, really into the Rangers. And he was the first player that I kind of gravitated towards. My first ever Rangers t-shirt was a Derek Stepan t-shirt. And he was one of my favorite players and was a reason for a lot of things that, like, if I would play something, I'd want the number 21. I don't know why. He was just always one of those players that just I gravitated towards. And it's sad to see him retire, and I would have liked for him to have like maybe one more run with the Rangers, but congrats on him. He had a good career. I mean, kind of down the end was a little, bouncing around from team to team, play on Ottawa and Carolina and the Coyotes. But it's sad to see him retire. So whenever, and I'm known 2-3 years. Same thing with Matt Zuccarello, who's also one of my favorite Rangers of all time. I've wanted them to get him back since
Day one.
since they traded him, basically.
Sorry to interrupt. Didn't Zuccarello get an extension?
He
recently?
did. It didn't.
broke his heart.
I thought there was a chance that they were going to sign him like a couple of years ago, but
He given up. He's
all
given
of
up now.
all of my favorite Rangers. I'm for the rest of my life, I'm never going to pick a favorite player on the Rangers because they all get traded. It was Stepan, then it was Zuccarello, and then it was Buchnevich, and they all got traded.
Well, guys, that's the first hour of Breaking the Ice here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. When we come back, we will have one more newscast and some more talk on player retirements, so stay tuned for that. And we are back here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair for Breaking the Ice hour number 2, but we have a newscast from Enrique first.
Hello everyone, my name is Luis Enrique and this is WMSC News. In international news, Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador blames U.S. sanctions on Cuba for causing 10,000 migrants to head to the U.S. border daily. He said many of the migrants have to endure the hardships of traveling to Central America and the jungle clay Darien gap region between Panama and Colombia. The Mexican president says that the sanctions are in place because of ideological differences and hence cannot be maintained. According to experts, mismanagement and political repression are the main reasons why migrants have to leave their countries. In national news, the family of Charlotte Sena, the young girl who was kidnapped from a park in New York but later found unharmed, has expressed their relief following the arrest of the suspect. Charlotte Sena was kidnapped while riding a bike by herself at Meadow Lake Park in New York. Charlotte's aunt, Jane Sena, said, "A huge thank you to the FBI, New York State Police, and all of the multiple agencies that were mobilized, all of the families, friends, and hundreds of volunteers for assisting in her safe return." The suspect has been identified as Craig Nelson Bros Jr. and was charged of first-degree kidnapping in Milton Town Court. In local news, police made public images of women who shot Newark pastor Timothy Huff, a pastor at Green Pasture Baptist Church in East Orange, was hospitalized for nearly 6 weeks after being shot at his home back in August. Huff had a portion of his lung removed, and he is in critical condition. The individual responsible for the shooting has been identified as Deidre Moses, a 20-year-old Bloomfield resident. The Newark police are requesting the public assistance in locating Moses. In MSU stories, the Red Hawks soar at homecoming. The MSU football team defeat TCNJ with a score of 42-7 last Saturday, September 30th. The victory marked the Red Hawks' second win of the season, creating an electrifying atmosphere. The new head coach Mike Palazzo reflected on the game, saying, "We focused hard on the little things. This way, the big things took care of themselves." And it's now time for our weather report. The pleasant weather is set to continue for another day. On Wednesday, clear skies and temperatures reaching up to 83 degrees Fahrenheit are expected. However, Thursday will see cloudier conditions with temperatures of 61 and 71 degrees. Rain is forecasted for Friday with a high of 71 degrees and a 50% chance of precipitation. For WMSC, my name is Luis Enrique.
And that wraps up all the newscasts for today. 3 great casts. And now, back onto the swing of things. Devils report somewhere right now. So,
yeah.
So, let's do an over/under. When's he coming back? Let's give him 420 as the line.
I'll set the
I'm
timer.
giving him the over.
I'm
You
gonna-
giving the over?
That's-
Well, then I gotta take the under.
so.
Justin's the tiebreaker
I'll
here.
take the over.
So over 420, he'll be back after that.
I think he's taking care of some business. that
He
needs to
is taking care of some
get
business. You know, he is. He really do be taking care of business right now. Business.
That
Justin
that,
says we should do an EASHL team for chill.
that
Okay.
Korean barbecue isn't hitting
Yo,
well
the
right
chicken
now.
bop is not doing so good right now. He didn't even finish it either, bro.
Yeah, I know.
He didn't even finish it. Anyways, hockey. Well, back into the wild card game. Rangers still up 1-0 right now, but let's see what I can dig up here. I have also my phone apps. I gotta start closing them, bro. I just kept everything open right now. Let's see.
That's gone. Oh.
What I missed, bro?
Oh, it's
he's
the
back.
under.
He's back.
Daniel's back. Open the door for. Oh, thank you so much. And here's Daniel Amoya. The Amoyster has back.
All right.
On Mike 1.
It
But-
was the under.
Who? Yeah, we bet
Wow.
on you to come back. I bet the under. They take the over.
Well,
The over was
Connor.
420.
Thank you for believing in me.
Also, that was off the wall from Corey Seager, I believe. Wow.
Oh, wow. He almost called
Right off
that.
of Jose Siri's hand. I thought he was hurt for this game, not going to lie. But guess he's still in. Right off the palm.
You didn't even need to jump to that.
Yo, Glasnow cursed on live TV. So now, runner on second, no outs here.
Were we in the middle of any hockey subject?
No, we were
Because-
talking about,
No.
what were we even talking about? I forgot.
I thought we were going to talk about like retirement.
Oh, yeah, but we were talking about like right before he walked in. It was about him being late.
Oh, the ESHL.
And Justin
Oh,
Simpson
yeah,
started
that'd be
EAH.
awesome.
That was Tanner's idea. I
Talking
think
about
we
my
should
phone
do
app
it.
still, but yes, retirements, of
It's a
course.
Great idea.
Moving away from Derek Stepan. We had Corey Schneider retire. I used the wrong sound effect, guys. But Corey Schneider retired Devils legend. 410 games and 1 game for the Islanders, I believe. A single game.
Yeah, it all it took was just 1 game, and Schneider wanted to leave.
The
ASAP.
26th overall pick in 2004 by Vancouver dealt to the Devils for the 9th overall pick, Bo Horvat.
Yeah.
So, what does this guy mean to the New Jersey Devils?
He meant everything
Yeah.
to our franchise. I mean, from a stretch of 2014 to 2016, he was the guy, honestly, a top 10 goalie in the league, arguably top 5 at some point. Unfortunately, the Devils just did not have the talent on the ice to help back him up. But Corey Schneider was a great goalie, great trade that they made in that 2013 draft in their own arena, which was pretty cool. So I don't regret them making that trade. I thought it was a great pick, but they just did not have the talent to back him up. But yeah, I love Corey Schneider. Great guy overall. Did so much for the community in New Jersey, and I wish him nothing but the best in retirement.
Yeah.
Goat.
He was really, really, really good for a long stretch. He had 30 games with the 30. Wow, that actually goes back really far. 2010, 2011. I'm going to start there and tell you his save percentages each season. So starting the 2010-11 season. 929, 937, 927, 921, 925, 924. I mean, those are elite numbers. And he was doing that consistently, basically. So, I know the end of his Devils tenure was rough. He got plagued by injuries and just was never the same. And for some reason, people tend to hang on to just that and not the fact that he was an insanely good goaltender for a long stretch of time. So it's unfortunate that he gets that much hate. I don't get the disrespect whatsoever. Corey Schneider was such a big reason on why some Devils teams were able to compete when they really should have had no business being anywhere close to the playoffs. He really put the team on his back for a while. So much respect to him. Class act as well. Great guy. I actually met him at the draft party in 2019, and he was one of those athletes who just always makes time for fans no matter what. So much respect for him. And I wish him, similar to Justin, nothing but the best in retirement.
Clap for the GOAT. Now 2 runners on here for the Rangers. Adolis Garcia up. I got Rangers money line, actually. I was wrong. If I had the Rangers run line, I have Rangers money line on my parlay. So, moving back over to hockey, the Flames have finally named their captain. Mikael Backlund, captain of the Calgary Flames. Not Jonathan Huberdeau, because, go on now. But not only was he their captain, but he signed a 2-year, $9 million contract as well, all in the same day. Reese got an extension, or he got re-signed and then named captain. He was there. He was an alternate captain. And look at this inside the. Look at that. Look at that inside, an infield single for Garcia there. So now we got loaded bases, Tyler Glasnow, and here come the Rays management.
So
Wow.
But I think Backlund's a solid choice because he's a guy that's always great on both ends of the puck. His points wise, since he turned around 2014, 2015 seasons, he's been putting up around 45 points a season. Like, he's just a very, very solid player. You could always count on him for 15 to 20 goals. He's always towards
ball went off of Glasnow's
towards
leg.
the top of the Selke conversation. The
Patrice Bergeron Award?
Yeah, he was 6th in Selke voting. The last 6 years, he's gotten votes 5 times. Really, he's a great pick for captain. He kind of gives me, I guess you could call him the Flames version of Travis Zajac. Like,
Ooh.
not a superstar, but just a very solid player. Class act, definitely a great choice to be captain.
Yeah, that's what you want from, your captain. A lot of teams, their captains aren't the flashiest player, the best player. It's kind of guys that have been there for a while, and he's clearly been there for a while, so I think that was a good pick. And he's also last two seasons played all 82 games, which is huge for a team. Yep. If your captain is going to be a guy who is playing every game night in, night out, that is going to lift up your team That's going to lift up your team, and hopefully he'll get 82 games again. Because I'm sure I would like to see the Flames kind of make noise out in the West. It's always good seeing when the Battle of Alberta is
the battle.
when the Battle of Alberta is going strong. I mean, I still think the worst thing that happened to the Flames was they kind of just lost Kachuk and Gaudreau, and they didn't even really do anything. They didn't really do anything to lose them. They were just like, yeah, I don't want to play here anymore, which is tough, but that's what's going to happen when you play in Calgary, because a lot of people don't know what a Calgary is.
Now this was a great pick. Mikhail Backlund actually won the King Clancy Memorial Trophy this past season, which is basically the award for a player who exemplifies leadership qualities on and off the ice. And Backlund has been in this franchise for 16 years now. He got drafted in the first round by the Flames in 2007. So he's been around for a very long time. He's been a very solid player, very great leader. So this was the only pick they could have made for captain.
So, I agree with you there. It's a guy who's been there for so long. And now I'm switching gears over to just a little and a wild pitch from Glasnow. 2-0 Rangers. Corey Seager gets a run.
Oh,
They got one out, though.
the baseball blue shirts are buzzing.
Baseball blue. What if we have a baseball blue shirts?
How's
Tanner?
that? How's that for alliteration?
The baseball blue shirts.
The baseball blue shirts are buzzing.
That was in the sky right there. Anyways, Rob Brindamore's son, Skyler, is actually in the Panthers AHL team. He is one of the Charlotte Checkers, and he was in the lineup 6 days ago against the Canes for the preseason game. So imagine a world in a few years where he's still the head coach and Skyler's in the league and game-winning goal in the playoffs.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen now?
It's going to happen.
Skyler takes out his dad.
It's kind of this. When I was at Devils development camp over the summer, Tom Fitzgerald's son was on a tryout with the team.
Who's his son?
Casey Fitzgerald.
He was on the Panthers. I remember him. Yeah, he was a Panthers defenseman. He's a defenseman, right?
I believe so. And
I would never, if my son was trying out for the team, that's difficult to, how do you go in and say, yeah sorry, we're
it's
not
not like
signing you.
T-ball anymore, where it's like, oh,
Yeah.
little Bobby's hitting cleanup today. Like, you can't say, oh,
Like,
you're
oh,
gonna be
yeah.
on the first line today. Like,
Oh, I can't make your dream. I can't make your lifelong dream come true. Go try somewhere else. Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad. Thanks.
And
Yeah,
by the
that's-
way, there is a player. I believe it's for the Rangers, a AHL or some team's AHL, named Peter Laviolette, and I believe I don't know if there's any relation there, but I feel like that's going to be really funny. Peter Laviolette coaches Peter Laviolette tonight.
So, that's Tyler Glasnow there.
I don't mean to interrupt the sibling talk, but actually one of my colleagues at the Hockey Writers just dropped some breaking news on Twitter that,
let's hear
that
it.
the entire hockey world is talking about. At 2:33 he tweeted, actually, and I've seen it all over. He said, ESPN will now have their own version of Red Zone, NFL Red Zone, on ESPN/ESPN2 the night all 32 teams play. It will be called Frozen Frenzy.
All right, you know
The
what?
second,
Rare NHL dub, rare ESPN dub. This is a very rare dub. I think that's a great idea because
yes.
first off, it creates attention for every single team in the
Let's
NHL.
hit a double a double sound effect. Let's get the fog. Clap. ESPNW.
Yeah, when I heard... Oh, do you want to...
Yeah, sorry.
Okay,
I was just
okay.
gonna it brings spotlight to every single team, which I love. I think
Yeah.
even like the lower market teams, brings some spotlight onto them.
Yep.
And also, I think it's good just to have something fun like that. NFL Red Zone is so much fun to watch every Sunday, so to have something like that for hockey, I think is awesome. And you get to see what's going on with other teams around the league. Players, it makes our jobs probably more easier when we're talking about some random team like the Vancouver Canucks, because we have maybe some idea now about what's going on. So yeah, I think it's a great idea, but knowing ESPN, they're gonna mess it up somehow.
Knowing
Well,
ESPN, they're gonna mess it up.
Here's my question. So the tweet says, on the night all 32 teams play. So is that just one night?
Well, I don't know. I feel like there were multiple nights
There
last season where
there ha-
every team played, right?
Because you're telling me they're going to do this if all 32 teams play, but if there's, say, 28 teams, they can't do it? Like,
That's kind of stupid.
so
Not
so
gonna lie.
I don't know. I don't want to jump to conclusions because I'm not sure, but also I'm trying to think how they implement it, because like NFL Red Zone, like a team's in the red zone.
They're gonna show like goals and stuff like that.
So yeah, but if it's
way different because
if it's live,
yeah.
how are they or they could show like penalty shots? I guess you could show like power plays and when
plays.
games are in
the
overtime.
power play overtime
But
zone.
how often is that going to be? Or I guess so. Someone in the replies said you just show the most popular game, and then when there's a power play or overtime in a different game, then you switch over to that.
Because ESPN does have, they have 3 games that day, that they're doing already. They have Toronto, Washington, Boston, Chicago, and Philly, Vegas. So I guess it's going to be that. But I remember when it was announced that there was, all 32 teams were going to play against each other. I was like, I really, really hope there's some sort of red zone type coverage of it. And now that we got it, like, I'm going to be watching that, except for I'm going to be watching that entire night until, which I guess is good for me because the Rangers don't start till 9:45 that night. They play at Calgary, so I think that'll be good, as you were saying. It's good for everybody. It's good for the league, and especially because, say, like the Devils are playing at 7:15 that day. When they're in an intermission, you could go to this, and then you'll be able to watch teams that you normally will not get to watch, because sometimes I think that's good, because a lot of hockey fans, it's an issue that so many fans of the sport have, which is that a lot of the best players play on the West Coast. A lot of people want to watch Connor McDavid, but they don't really have the access to it. And now if you're putting it on where he's going to be playing, and you'll be able to see all of your favorite players play on one day, it's going to create a lot of buzz for just every star player. I mean, everyone's going to be able to see the stars of the game that they might not get to see, which is something that the NHL has had to do because because marketing players, there's not really too many players that are marketed as, as much as other sports. So now maybe this is a start at that.
I mean, this must have been a planned thing, because looking at your screen right now, Tanner, every game's at a different time.
Yeah, every game is staggered.
So they do that on purpose, so there could be something to watch at all times.
Yeah, they do it. They do it for the playoffs, because when there's 4 games a night, it's like 7:00 and then like 7:45, which, so maybe when the first intermission hits, then some game goes on. So yeah, they schedule it like that, which I think is a very good idea. I know they're doing it twice this season.
Twice, okay.
There's one October 24th, and I think there's one sometime in December.
Okay.
But
No,
this is something that I wish happened regardless of all 16 teams playing each other. Like, maybe not even, it doesn't even have to be when there's like just like a way to watch, multiple games at once, because you could get the ESPN package, but you can only watch really one game at once. Maybe you have like a split box or something, which I've wanted the NHL to have for a long time, because so many games are happening. There's a game late that's in the third period. There's a game in overtime, and I just want a way to watch both of them, and this is what it has to. And I hope that they can evolve this into where it's maybe like a nightly thing, or days where there's 10+ games. Then you have this.
Can I get an ESPNW in the chat, please?
ESPNW.
ESPNW.
And they're gonna mess it up.
No, they're gonna mess it up. You
They
calling
are.
that from now?
Yeah, I on the tweet, one of the top comments were, hold up, let me get this up.
Oh boy.
It's ESPN. There's almost zero chance this is executed properly, and 100% chance it will feature overbearing advertisements.
So I just reached out to Mark, who is the one who broke the news. I said, I saw your tweet. We're discussing my school's hockey radio show. Do you know if they're only planning on doing this for one night during the season? He said, that was all they said. However, I'll have a piece out tomorrow with more details.
Hey.
So hopefully part of those more details is that they will be doing it multiple times, because if it's a great idea, we're all in agreement on that.
Yeah.
So if
100%,
they're
no doubt.
only doing that for one night, that is such a missed opportunity. They have such, especially for overtime. 3-on-3 hockey is exciting.
Oh,
that is such an
it's-
untapped market, really.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole. I'm wearing the shirt right now. I went to the 3-ice event in the summer, which is literally they only played 3-on-3, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
It's just goals, and that's
I
what
love-
fans want to see, goals.
I think the 3-on-3 overtime is the best
great,
decision
bro.
the
It's
NHL
great.
has made in the last
100%.
in the last 10 years. It
Yeah.
is so
So-
exciting.
And it stays
is-
5-on-5 for the playoffs. of
when
course.
it yeah, but that's fine. I
Yeah,
like
perfect.
it. I like
Perfect,
it. I
yeah.
like it 5-on-5 for the playoffs because it's the biggest
That's
games
hockey.
and you
Yeah,
want.
that's real hockey.
But
yeah.
during the regular season, if I'm at a game, because I have been to games with 5-on-5 overtime, like in the regular season, where nothing happens. It's just a continuation of the. It's just a continuation of the game. Nothing happens. When there's 3-on-3 overtime, there is at least 3 goal chances for each team. Like you have a missed opportunity by one team. It leads to a breakaway, which one-on-one breakaway, where it's not like the shootout, where it's in the middle of an overtime period, is one of the most exciting things. Like those 10 second, those 5 seconds when the player is closing in on the goalie is some of the most tense moments, because you're like, this needs to go in, or he needs to save this, or the game is over. It's some of the most exciting. It's probably one of the most exciting things in sports is the 3-on-3 overtime.
I agree.
Because the
What
ice
does
is
my shirt
so
say right now?
3 ice.
At
Yeah.
the bottom.
The best. I can't see it.
Oh,
Oh, the best part of hockey.
Best part
Best part of hockey.
Yeah.
It is. It is. It's
And a Rosarina flies out to end the 5th inning.
because if you and also the thing with 3-on-3 that's different is that it's
That's
the best.
EADD,
It's the
never
best versus the best. The teams
Yeah.
are gonna have their best players out there,
Yeah.
and
You're
that's
not
what.
putting Jake Leschizin
Yeah.
and Miles.
They're
Wood
not
out
getting
there
guys on
again,
there.
or-
They're not getting fourth liners. It's straight up, the best of the best going against each other for one goal, going all in to try for these next 5 minutes to score a goal to win the game.
Yeah.
They should extend it to 10 minutes, in
I
my
agree.
opinion.
Yeah,
I don't
McDavid said
like
that
the
as well.
shootout.
I think it's all. I think it should be 10 minutes, and then you could go to a shootout, because I think 5-on-5 is a little the 5 minutes is a little too short, and I think with 10 minutes you'll be able to get games over quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember in 2009-2010 season. So the New York Rangers and Philadelphia Flyers were playing each other. It came to the I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, Tanner. But it came to the last game of the season. So whoever won that game between them two got the last playoff spot. And
Yeah.
the Flyers ended up actually getting that last playoff spot, and we know what happened. They went to the Cup final that
Yeah.
year and barely lost to Chicago. But you know how that game ended? Ended in a shootout. So basically, the only reason why the Flyers got into the playoffs and were able to make that cup run from the beginning was
Shootout?
because they won a skills competition.
Because they won a
just
skills
Th-
competition.
think
he
about
says.
like a home run derby ending a baseball game. Like, it just doesn't
Yeah.
really make sense to me. And especially back to my initial point, it's such an untapped market because it's electric. It's exactly what you want to see.
Yeah.
Nonstop action. It's a perfect marketing ploy. And yeah, like they post 3-on-3 goal the night or something like that. But to have an entire service where you could just watch one stream and it goes back and forth between games that are going to overtime or when teams are on the power play. Look at how popular
Or
NFL
when
Red Zone is.
Yeah.
There's a reason they're
Or I
modeling
feel like
off it.
if you have neither of those, games that are close in goals, or
Yeah.
0-0 games, or one goal games, or
But
0-goal games.
Yeah,
Also-
there's always an option. You're not just stuck to watching some
I also-
6-0 blowout of the Montreal Canadiens.
I also think I know it's exhibition and stuff, but the All-Star game has gotten so much better since they've moved to the 3-on-3
Hey.
tournament style, because it's just a little it feels more like you're not watching just a NHL game, like you're watching something different. It's the best players. And I know it's an exhibition game. They don't skate as hard, they don't shoot as hard, whatever. But it just creates a lot more like I've been to multiple of those All-Star games, and it's a fun atmosphere being in there. You know, there's no stakes behind it, but you still it's fun to still see all your favorite players go.
Especially because we don't get the World Cup of Hockey or the Olympics anymore, so it's really the only opportunity to see the best on best all in one place. So when you're doing that, I'll give props to the NHL on this, because you want to see more goals, you want to see more actions. You don't want to see a 2-1 final score when you have a 3-on-3 tournament where you could see maybe 54 goals scored the whole night as opposed to 3. So I'll give them props on that. And with that being said, we need to get international play back as soon as possible, because there's no excuse anymore. It's been, 2016 was the last World Cup of Hockey. We're closing in on a decade. And you want to grow the game. That's the number one way to grow the game. Get the best on best playing each other. You don't know how much fun I had attending the World Baseball Classic, watching them announce the starting lineups for the U.S. and for Venezuela. And it's basically an MLB All-Star team, but with much higher stakes. It's exciting, and the NHL needs to build off that, and they have not. I get COVID ruined the Olympics, but they could have came up with something else, and instead they keep pushing it back. Pushing it back. It's really unfortunate.
Pushing it
It
back.
used to be so much fun. I remember watching literally it was probably 9 in the morning.
That-
U.S. versus
Oh,
Russia.
I
That
remember
Oshie?
the 2014.
Oh, that
the
Oshie game?
TJ Oshie,
So,
the shootout.
I remember it being in class when I was in school. Some of the teachers would have it on.
Really?
I
That's
swear.
awesome.
When-
We're talking 2014, right?
When
2014. Yep.
Yeah, it was the Winter Olympics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember some teachers would have my computer's teacher. I know she had the game on in the classroom.
That's an all-time American sporting moment.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I still that's one game that I think I'll always remember watching it. I still have that memory of my mind of seeing, because I think I was so used to, okay, one player goes in the NHL shootout and the Olympic rules are different, and just seeing TJ Oshie just get off the bench again, I was like,
going.
oh my God, what is happening? That's still one of my favorite moments to ever happen in sports.
Yeah, I was so happy watching it because Ilya Kovalchuk missed the game-winning goal, and I hated Ilya Kovalchuk at the time. I hated him. I still hate him. Sorry, I hate's a really strong word. I hate Ilya Kovalchuk.
He's bitter.
Yo, when you sign the
Yeah, he
guy
is, I
to
know,
a
I know, I know.
15-year contract extension, which is so dumb on the Devils in the first place, and then he's like, "Oh, actually, I want to be with my family in Russia after I signed this 15-year extension and just steal millions and millions and millions of dollars." The Devils are still paying him until 2024 or 2025.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Sickening.
Yeah,
And that's the Devils' fault for signing him to a
It is.
15-year
It
contract.
is. And after that deal,
No one learned from Rick DiPietro.
And after that deal, the NHL made the rule saying you cannot sign a player longer than 8 years, which is how it should be. It's the
Yeah.
right ruling. But yeah, that was and the
MLB
Devils
needs
really
that.
got screwed in that because Kovalchuk screwed them over, and they thought all right, we're gonna have this guy for the next 15 years possibly, but then that cost the Devils that first round draft pick, which was gonna be a top 5 pick that year.
Oh.
So, and they end up getting the 30th overall pick at the time because there were only 30 teams, and guess who they got? John Quenneville, who was a total bust in the
John
NHL.
Quenneville was.
So-
What year was that?
Lord.
2014.
Okay.
Some
Let's
stats
see who
being
they-
researched
actually-
here by Tanner Price.
Yeah. I
While,
was-
while he's doing that, he mentioned Rick DiPietro, obviously Ilya Kovalchuk. Why is it that Bobby Bonilla is the only deferred contract in sports
'Cause-
that gets made fun
Because
of?
it's the Mets.
'Cause
That's
the Mets.
why. I'm
No,
a Mets fan. It's the
listen,
Mets, bro.
That dude, if y'all know this,
the fourth highest paid player on the Reds.
Game 7 of the 1997 World Series, Bobby Bonilla was on the Marlins. hits a go-ahead home run in Game 7 of that World Series. He's a Fish legend, okay? Maybe not go-ahead, but he hit a home run in that game.
In the NHL specifically, there are so many deferred contracts that are still getting paid out. I mean, when was the last time Rick DiPietro played in the NHL?
I don't know.
And I believe he still gets paid for, it's got to be at least a couple more years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But no one talks about that. Like, come on.
What pick did you say the Devils would have gotten if they didn't?
They would have gotten like a top 5, top 10 pick.
Okay.
I
So
think.
players that I'm just gonna go with players that were taken outside. Let's go. So we had, let's say they got the 7th overall pick, because
Okay.
from 4 to 7 is like guys that aren't, because they had the best player in the draft this year is Leon Draisaitl, was 3rd
Okay.
overall, but after that, the 8th overall pick was William Nylander. The 11th overall pick, the 9th overall pick was Nikolai Ehlers. The 11th overall pick was Kevin Fiala. The 15th overall pick was Dylan Larkin. Then we had at 25th pick, who the Devils, oh boy.
Oh, he got lucky.
He got lucky. Jose Siri got lucky.
Oh,
Well,
no! Never mind.
Never mind.
Lucky. I missed it. I keep looking down, but Marcus
He-
Semien
he-
crossed the
so-
plate. Another Rangers lead 4-0.
So the ball bounced. It hit off of his glove, popped up in the air, and then he caught it and threw the ball into the dugout. But the Devils, even if they got,
Loser.
the Devils could have gotten with the 25th overall pick, David Pasternak.
God.
I mean, they probably want to draft him because drafted, and we have 3 picks later,
Yeah.
the great all-time player in Joshua Hosang.
Wow, he got so lucky. Hold on, now I'm seeing the play. And then he just throws it in the dugout.
Chuck that into the dugout. I mean, what are you doing?
So
Yeah,
4-0 the Rangers lead with a runner on third and no outs. Okay, interesting.
We had that was when the Islanders got the Josh Hosang pick from the Rangers via Tampa Bay. So they moved three spaces to get that and drafted
Yikes.
Josh Hosang.
Hey, okay.
I think we're seeing a theme here. No shade to Alexis Lafreniere, but with players who performed really well in juniors but did not score a lot of goals, and most of their points came on assists. It was the same thing for Hosang. I don't think he scored any more than like 21 goals ever in juniors, which was way worse than Lafreniere, actually.
Oh, but the 78th pick was Ilya Sorokin, our great goalie.
Hey,
Ilya
Saw him yesterday.
Sorokin.
I think ever since it has been pointed out to me, I've started to hate the New York Islanders more
potential
and
sack
more.
fly. Hold up. Oh no, they're not
testing it
trying
now.
it. They're not trying it.
He should have won.
We'd back
He
to
would've
we
made it.
so in this draft, this is such a weird draft because there was so many picks of just bad players, just guys that aren't really like haven't really made an impact. And then we had Ilya Sorokin and Braden Point back to back at like 78 and 79, and Sorokin's one of the best goalies in the NHL, and Braden Point is
That guy.
Stanley Cup champion.
So now that was a great discussion point there. But speaking of Braden Point, I want to bring it over to Tampa Bay now because got a little injury problems. 5 days ago, Andrei Vasilevsky got back surgery. He's out 8 to 10 weeks. So, guys, who is now the goaltender of the Tampa Bay Lightning? Let's see if we can, because it was this
Brian
dude.
Elliott?
Is it Brian Elliott?
It is.
That's
Oh no!
No,
way.
they signed someone else. They
No
signed someone else.
Way!
It's
Oh
definitely
my
someone with
God!
Panthers ties.
It is.
Is
It's
it
Alex
Alex
Lyon?
Lyon?
No. He's on the Ducks or the Senators or something like
Okay.
that. It's Jonas Johansson.
Wow.
And this dude was trash. He was a trash can in Florida.
Colorado Avalanche legend.
Dude, last year he played 3 games. One of them was actually a shutout, but he only made 7 saves. That's why. He played 2 more games as a starter, allowed 4 goals in one, had a 29 save 1 goal game. But nah, this dude, bro, here's his 2022 stats. He was at Colorado in 2022, it looks like. Well, for 3 games. Let's see if I want to find his Panthers stats. Which year was that? This dude was on Florida in 2021.
Yeah. he
Save percentage
had-
of 852. He played more games. I think he barely played, and when he played, it was just rough. Now, if that's Tampa Bay's goal, they got to sign somebody else real quick. That's their one goaltender. That's their goaltender one right now. With Vasilevsky out, they're going to be for a rude awakening when
That is-
JJ takes the
Oh.
ice.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, he had in his latest preseason game, he saved 42 out of 42 shots.
Hey.
So, yeah, he's cooking a little bit. Last season for the Avalanche, in the 2 games he appeared, he posted a 2.10 goals against average and a 932 save percentage and went 2-0 in that span. So, I mean, I think it's really like depends on your defense in front of you. And Tampa's got a nice defense.
True, Victor Hedman, yeah.
So they got big Victor Hedman, Sergachev. So they got some guys there. So I mean, as long as the defense is playing solid, Tampa Bay is gonna be fine. And they'll be in playoff contention by December or January, when Vasilevsky,
Woo,
Jesus
man.
Christ,
Couldn't
is
get that
coming
one
back.
out there, huh?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, no, that actually brings me right into the point that Tampa Bay in, where was it? When did he become a Devil?
Who we talking about?
Louis Domingue, sorry.
That
Yeah.
was like
Rangers
2019.
legend.
In 20
He got cut.
Yeah, the 2018-19 season for the Tampa Bay Lightning, Louis Domingue
5
played
years ago,
26,
baby.
26 games, 908 save percentage. So he was just average, maybe even a little below
average.
He was waived on
He-
on Sunday.
He went 21-5 because if the Lightning are truly playing the way that the Lightning are expected to play, it won't matter who's in net.
True.
In a similar sense for the Devils, but then when comes playoff time, it could be a completely different story.
So now,
But just for them to get by until Vasilevsky's back, it's certainly doable.
Yeah, they're fun.
another injury here. This time a former Tampa Bay Lightning player, now a Duck. Alex Killorn, 4 to 6 weeks, broken finger. 3 days ago.
Owie.
That stinks. You know, you sign the guy. He was going to be a top 6 player, and you lose him for
A month.
Yeah.
or two. But yeah, you just want your team to get established early on, and not have to wait for a guy like that, a good veteran player who could score a lot of goals for you, especially in front of the net. So that kind of
Alex-
stinks.
Alex Killorn is such a good player.
He-
I know
he-
he's getting
he's a-
older now.
He's
And he
been
always
a
shows
devil
up in
killer.
the playoffs.
He
is
is a
He
devil
always
killer.
does show up in the playoffs, bro. It's
He
ridiculous.
Kind of, I guess you could call him like righty Andre Palat vibes. Or actually, he's not even
Righty
righty. He is
Andre
lefty.
Palat.
sorry.
So just Andre
So,
Palat.
yeah, he's
Just
same,
light-
same kind of premise where he's not like elite, but he's very good
Like
veteran.
Jordan
Yeah.
Montgomery elite, bro. Look at this guy.
He's only 60 pitches.
Wait, what?
60 pitches.
He's only
in
60
six?
pitches.
That's like unheard of.
Dude, he's going
today.
for a complete game.
Yankee fans right now. How's Harrison Bader doing?
People forget. Jordan Montgomery wasn't that good on the Yankees. It wasn't until like now all of a sudden I decided like maybe it's growing the beard thing. I think it's the Yankees, like when guys are allowed to grow facial hair, they start playing better. But like Montgomery wasn't like, he was okay with the Yankees, but he wasn't like this. Like, I don't know.
You know who also wasn't good as a Yankee? Sonny Gray, and look how that turned out. So maybe it's just a Yankees problem.
Well, it 100 is because the fans are honestly just so brutal, and like the pressure, like Sonny Gray.
New York's a different
Where's
beast.
Sonny Gray right now?
He's on a
Minnesota.
playoff team.
Minnesota. He's
Okay,
starting
look,
for
he
Minnesota.
he was good in Oakland, and now he's good in Minnesota. Like some guys can thrive in small markets, and some guys can't handle the big market. And obviously Montgomery. I wouldn't say Montgomery couldn't handle it, but I don't know. Some guys just seem to do better in New York, and some guys just seem to perform better as soon as they get out of there, or when they grow beards. Honestly, I think the beard has something to do with it.
Well, we're doing our baseball segment today. Now, Toronto, Minnesota has first pitch is off, and it's 0-0 in the bottom of the first. So now back to the ice.
Twins in 2.
Back to
Twins
the
in 2.
ice.
I got Blue Jays in 3. I think honestly. So next one up, we got a couple extensions from Minnesota. I know we talked about Zuccarello earlier. $8.25 million extension for 2 years. But Marcus Foligno, 4-year, $16 million extension. I had him on my fantasy team a couple years ago, not gonna lie. Solid dude. But this is a team that is gonna be cap strapped.
Yeah. It's
Like
a very
crazy.
it's a very interesting team. I mean, they're kind of always in that mix. And
I mean, they're literally Western Conference Toronto.
yeah.
They-
I feel like that doesn't get talked enough. Like
Yeah.
they haven't made it past the second round.
First
and-
round.
No, they made it to the second round a few years.
No,
oh,
I don't
no,
think so.
in the last 8 years they made it a couple times.
Dude, I don't think so.
I
don't think so.
They made it to
I-
the second round. Actually, never mind.
They did.
No.
They did.
Wait,
no.
no,
have.
I think
have.
Connor's right. They have not had
All right, look.
They've
unless
they've-
they played 7 games in the
they've made it
2020
to-
season.
they've
So unless
made
they
it-
swept,
I
no, that
promise
still
you-
wouldn't make sense.
I promise you, they've made it to the second round a couple
Let's see.
times.
Let's see. Pulling up
Let's
the
see.
Minnesota
No,
Wild
they
playoff
ha-
history.
Unless Marcus Foligno didn't play in some of the games.
Let's see.
They have.
Let's see. 2023 lost first round. 2022 lost first round. 2021 lost first round. 2020 lost qualifying round.
So that yeah.
2019 missed playoffs. 2018 lost first round. 2017 lost first round. 2016 lost first round. 2015 lost in the conference semifinals. They won one round.
So 8 years ago. That was
Yeah.
actually not 8 years
They've had
ago.
a span.
2015.
So what they've
Since 2016. They
they've
have not
they've
gotten to the first
missed the playoffs just once in what the last 10
And
years.
they lost
Is
the
that correct?
first round.
Yeah.
They're literally Western Conference.
They've lost.
Maple
Leafs.
Leafs.
Yeah.
They've missed the playoffs once in the last 10 years, and that team was 37, 36, and 9, and have not. They've not.
I mean, they're always,
They've won 2 first rounds.
They're always
won
a
2
good
rounds.
team, and they're always in contention for a playoff spot. I feel like every year, but it's just like
They're not good though.
they don't have what it takes to win a cup. They don't have the players. They don't have the talent.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a very interesting team.
Signing Zach Parise and Ryan Suter to like 11-year contracts is the dumbest thing ever.
I mean, they have, they're building. They got Kirill Kaprizov, who's one of the best players in the sport, and they got Matt Boldy, who's going to be pretty good this year. But is their goalie still Marc-Andre Fleury?
It should be.
No,
it's
what's his
Gustafsson,
name?
right?
Gustafsson. Yeah,
Gustafsson.
Gustafsson was really good last year.
Mhm.
He was really good. I mean, having
I think they
Fleury
have both of them actually. Let's check that out.
They do, I believe. And having Fleury as your 1B goalie, I'll take that any day.
Yeah, but I just feel like they're such a weird team.
Gustafsson and Fleury is number 2, and then Jesper Wallstedt is number 3.
Because it just feels like every year it's the same thing with this team, with Minnesota, which is just they get to the first round
And
and
then Kaprizov chokes and disappears.
they are always the same team every year of, yay, we're in the playoffs, but never this team's going to the Stanley Cup final. It feels like it happens every year. They're always good, but no one even predicts them to win anything, which is, I don't know. I mean, a lot of teams would strive for that, but they've done this so much, so they just need, I think, I don't know what they're going to do, and they're kind of going to be stuck there because Kirill Kaprizov, you're not going to not win without him, so either they have to completely buy into a team one year or completely tear it down, or it's going to be the same stuff here.
Minnesota, man. Minnesota. That's so funny. But
Minnesota!
all right, gang. We are we're gonna also, how's this idea? Can us 4 and I'll throw AJ in there, anyone else that wants to join. We're doing full season pickups this year. Full season
season?
pickups this year. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have a record compiled for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not counting overtime losses. That's gonna be a loss. That's gonna be an L.
Are we going to, just on the show, just for that day?
Nah, we're gonna do the whole week.
We're going to do the whole week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Full season pickups.
Okay. Okay.
Yo, look at this now. That's
We're
a
not doing
base hit.
we're not doing preseason though, right?
No, we're not doing preseason.
Okay.
Because that's over in a couple days. But
For every game of the week.
every game of the week.
Oh my God! How
I
are we
like that.
How are
I
we
like
gonna-
that. I like it. I like
Full
it.
If
season
Connor wants to
pickups.
track all of that,
Now,
Yeah,
I
that's
can
what I was
do
gonna say.
it. I'll have a doc and everything. What's the loser punishment?
Oh,
I feel like oof.
they have to hang out with AJ.
Man, what if
Yeah,
AJ loses? Then what?
You have to go to.
What if AJ's the loser?
You have to go. You have to wear an Islanders jersey. The worst punishment.
For Ant Maz and the midday pick'ems loser for NFL, we did a henna tattoo of the winner's name. Like tramp stamp henna tattoo of the winner's name. Which must be presented whenever the winner requests it.
Oh, I don't know. We have a week to figure this out.
We have a week to figure it
Yeah,
out,
we
but we
do.
got to do this. This has to occur. And look at that. The
Um,
Rangers get out of another inning.
I think the loser should have to apply to become an intramural sports referee.
Dude.
No, I never.
Yo, okay.
Never. That's actually horrible.
Nah, I'm down for that. We'll have a vote on this one.
Like you don't have
Dude,
a
imagine
choice.
AJ has to come to campus now just for
Just to
that.
be a ref.
Yo, okay.
We have breaking
Well-
the politics. This just came on. You're interrupting my Texas Rangers up 4-0.
Yeah, come on now. Like, it's not like it's on ABC or anything. Like, come on now.
Yeah, it's not like it's on ABC. Come on.
Oh, man. 2 minutes left here on Breaking the Ice. As we wind down, we definitely got to think of a loser punishment. I'm trying to think of, like, a good one. You know what I'm saying? And the Twins are up 2-0. There goes the parlay.
Twins are up 2-0.
Yep. Let's check that one out.
Let's
So, who's Lewis? Is it Kyle Lewis?
Royce Lewis.
Royce Lewis with a 2-run home run at the DH spot.
Wow. Good for him.
He has 15 homers on the year, by the way. So, you know.
Since this has been a very baseball-filled episode, what NHL player do you think would have the greatest chance of success
In a
Major League
baseball field?
Out of
What,
everyone,
from hockey?
everyone
Which
in
NHL player could
everyone
play
in
baseball?
the NHL
In what sport? Baseball?
in
Yeah.
baseball.
Oh,
Well, I have no idea.
I'm trying to think.
I know my answer. 'cause it's not
isn't
based off much. But
Isn't there like I feel like there's a guy that like played both.
I mean,
Yeah.
for what it's worth, Josh Philman played high school baseball.
Josh Philman's a bum.
I'm just going off. I'm just gonna go off of.
Alexander Barkov. No, not
Let's
a
just
chance.
hear it.
He's
I'm just gonna
a
go off
Finnish dude.
of
They
like
don't know how to play baseball. Come on now.
who just. I feel like
Player.
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with a Rangers player. I'm just going with a Ranger. That's what I'm basing it off of. Give me. Let me take a quick.
40
I feel like-
seconds left.
I feel like Keandre Miller would hit some bombs.
Ooh.
I feel like he would be
I
a
can
good,
see
you
that.
know, be a good middle of the lineup guy. Middle of the lineup guy for. I don't know.
My answer's
Give me Evander Kane.
My answer's Austin Matthews solely because I saw him. He took batting practice with the Blue Jays once, and he did hit a home run.
Ooh. Ooh.
So
Well,
Hmm.
thank you everyone here. That's a great episode of Breaking the Ice. I believe that was phenomenal. Now Billy's outside the door. I don't know if you guys saw Billy walk by, and look, there he is. Look, Billy's trying to look. He's looking. He hears us talking. He sees me sitting down. As you've been listening to Breaking the Ice here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. We'll be back next week. Right now the Rays are losing 4-0. Let's go Rangers. All right. Anyways, have a great one, everyone.
Yeah, let's go Rangers.
Peace.